folks, what's going on? Happy Sunday. And what a day it is today, right? Who would have thought back in 76, listening to Kiss, I'd be 50 years later. And here we are watching Destroyer turn 50 years old today. How freaking crazy is that? Yep, I was 4 years old, 76. I got introduced to Kiss in 75 with Alive, my brother. It's always, you have that older brother, so you always have to emulate your older brother. And to this day, we're still big Kiss fans. So this is an album where it was much more polished, where Kiss's sound changed a little bit for better or worse, depending on how you view it. But the bringing in Bob Ezrin, who had previously done a lot of work with Alice Cooper, and he gave them a more polished edge, make them work harder, made them better musicians, and of course they brought him back several times, and every time it was, well, except for The Elder, wasn't too much success with The Elder, but he did great on Revenge. Revenge is probably one of my favorite non-makeup albums. But Destroyer, we can go track by track. There's so many iconic songs on here. There's some interesting people behind the scenes that, this is where they had more people come in and help them write. So the interesting character like Kim Fowley, if you people, if you know anything about the Sunset Strip, he was like kind of like a impresario, and he was a little out there, a little strange cat, just to say the least. Just go watch the anything you need to know about the Runaways, because he formed the band the Runaways with Joan Jett and Lita Ford, and he was quite the character. So I never understood how he even got involved, but he was always like a hanger-on, especially around that time. So that's probably how he got in there, because he's got 2 credits on here. Actually, one song is from his band that was never, as far as I know, was never released. King of the Nighttime World was actually a cover, for those that don't know. But let's see. Let me get my slides up here, and we can go track by track. Just celebrate this. Let me know what you guys think. I see this. Some people in chat. People can filter in fine if you watch this after the fact. Make sure you comment below. We usually do our podcast on Sunday nights at 8 o'clock, so we'll be back at 8 o'clock doing our typical horror movie podcast. But I just wanted to celebrate this because it's a milestone for me and for Kiss. Michelle is there. What's going on, Michelle? Happy was there too. Coy, you were there too. Oh, I don't know if you're still there or not. What's up, buddy? How you been? But yes, feel free to chime in, hang out, or watch this after the fact if you like. So let me bring this up here. So track by track, if you go side 1, now this was their release. This was their single, Detroit Rock City, and didn't, of course, we know it was an homage to Detroit, which pretty much put them on the map. Hence them writing the song as an homage to Detroit. And this really didn't do too well. It didn't pique a lot of interest when it was released. And we all know what happened was when they flipped over the record and they started playing Beth, and then Beth exploded. And I'm not a big Beth person. I like the song. Quite honestly, for years, I just skipped over it. It's not there's a bad song, but everything is so bombastic on this. It kind of brings it down for me. But I do love Beth. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be throwing anything at the screen. But Detroit Rock City, I'm going to get some information up here. What did I do? I closed out my tab, didn't I? Hold on one second, folks. A little bit of information on the album and the songs. Give me 1 second. I don't know why I closed my window. There we go. So obviously we know this is Kiss's 4th album. And see, songwriting credits on this go to Paul Stanley and Bob Ezrin. So Bob Ezrin pretty much, he helped them change a lot of their stuff around. So he got writing credit on every song on here, I believe, except for Sweet Pain. Yeah, Sweet Pain for whatever reason. I'm not sure. But this is written by Paul Stanley, Bob Ezrin. It's got the whole intro, which is kind of cool in the beginning with the car. And you hear he's listening to Rock and Roll All Night on his radio. So to me, while it's cool, like same thing. I always wanted to hear the songs. I kind of fast forwarded through that just to get the song started. And what a bombastic song! It just starts out with the great riff from Ace and Paul Stanley, and it just turns into just an anthem tribute to Detroit. So what a great song! Can't say enough about it. But here, one of my favorites on here, like I was just mentioning, King of the Nighttime World. If for those that don't know, this is a cover. It was actually written by Paul Stanley and Kim Fowley and Mark Anthony, for I understand, were in a band, and this was their unproduced song. So I guess they'd let them use it, and it turned into one of my favorite songs off the album. And of course, Bob Ezrin's got a co-write on it as well. It was just because I remember listening to this as a kid, and if you listen to the words, you know, that was me. I was dying to go to a Kiss concert. I lived in a small town, and the parents were like, "No, you're not going to see Kiss." Wouldn't see Kiss for many years later, and it was always felt like me being stuck, you know, that I couldn't go to the concert. And if you listen to the words, it just goes along with that. But and great guitar solo. I always like the guitar solo in here. A lot of fun. We got track 3, which is the big one, God of Thunder, which Gene did for years with where he would start it out, and this is where he would spit up the blood. And for those that don't know, God of Thunder was actually written by Paul Stanley, and Paul Stanley was going to sing it, but Bob Ezrin said, you know what? It was tailor made for Gene. So yeah, actually, in only writing credit on God of Thunder is Paul Stanley. I would have thought it would have been Ezrin as well, but I guess nope. So there is versions. I know there's some demo versions where you do get Paul singing God of Thunder. So, and I think was it on the box set? I forget. I know it's out there, and it's all right. It definitely was best for Gene because it tailor made for everything about his whole character and persona. Yeah, Great Expectations, which was a standout song I always liked. I always liked how I liked the orchestration, and you have that, was it the Brooklyn Boys Choir that's there singing with them? There's a lot of great footage of all of this going on, so it's definitely cool. Hold on. Who's messaging me? No, totally unrelated to this. Sorry, folks. So, yeah, Great Expectations. Always liked it. Like the vocal. Gene's vocal is just great. It's a good way to end side 4, you know, because then you pick right up when you go to side 2 with Flamin' Youth. So good tune all around. Side 2, Flamin' Youth. Now this song gets, I don't know. I always like this song, written by Ace Frehley. I believe who else gets writing credit on this? Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, and Bob Ezrin. Oh, they all do. I forget that they all do, but I know it's more of an Ace song. And I know they played this on tour a few times too. I remember seeing it the Roosevelt Stadium show in Jersey City, New Jersey. Seen that footage where they actually played Flamin' Youth, and it was good. Would have been great if they just kept doing that. That would have been something to see. I'm trying to see. I've seen, how many times have I seen? I've seen Ace Frehley a million times. I'm just curious. He never played it though. It would have been cool to hear him play that. But good tune, good riff, fun nonetheless. Good way to start off side 2. Sweet Pain, another one here. This is all Gene. This is Gene. And this is good because if you get the Destroyer Resurrected album that came out years later, where they went back and did the remixes and brought up a lot of the stuff that they had taken out, and they actually put in Ace's solo, the original solo that he did on Sweet Pain, because who we used to go on here and do a lot? Dick Wagner. Bob Ezrin would bring Dick Wagner in to do a lot of guitar parts, and he did the solo on Sweet Pain and several other things on this too, because this is when things started to creep up where Ace was late, it didn't show up for stuff. So they put Ace's solo back in there on the Resurrection version. And it was pretty cool. Good tune though. What do we got here? Shout It Out Loud. I mean, everybody knows this freaking song. It's next to Rock and Roll Nights, their other anthem. And it's such a great tune. You'll love when Paul and Gene would do the going back and forth, you know, where they would do sort of like the Lennon McCartney thing, where one would sing one verse, one would sing the other verse. And this is just a bombastic tune, especially, you know, you see them live. This is usually when they'll sing and you get a lot of confetti. But just great tune nonetheless. I remember we played it in my old band for many years. Played a lot of Kiss. Several bands that I was in many, many years ago. I'm trying to get this band to do some Kiss. Man, I've been in for how many years now? It's like pulling teeth. So Shout Out Loud, yeah, everybody knows this, and it's one of their anthems. And of course, side 2, track 4, Beth. This was their breakthrough. This is what put them on the map. Got Peter Criss in the band the People's Choice Award for the year. Great footage. Have you ever seen that? Where who presents it? Who was it? It was Dick Van Dyke was hosting it that year, and Peter's wife Lydia accepted because they were on tour, so they were not there for that. But Beth, like I said, for years it was a skipper because to me it brought me down because I'd rather listen to the other songs because there's some more rock. You know, it's all about the rock. I grew to appreciate this as I got older. Side 2, track 5, Do You Love Me? Another great one. This is great drums. I love when I saw them on the reunion tour because this sounded so great when they played this back in '96. A lot of the stuff that they did off of Destroyer. I mean, I remember they played King of Nighttime World, obviously God of Thunder. They played Do You Love Me? Detroit Rock City. They played a lot off of Destroyer back in the reunion tour in '96, and everything just sounded fantastic. But this is always a good one. It's actually kind of funny if you listen to the words. So basically just saying, hey, if I was, do you love me? Or you just love my fame and love everything about me. And this is around the time where they were getting pretty damn big. So this is where they were getting that from. Track 6, you got Rock and Roll Party. Now, for those that don't know, this was a hidden track on the vinyl release. And of course they put it on the CDs as well, where it's just like this weird, I remember hearing it as a kid, like, what the hell is this? Because I didn't understand what bonus tracks were back in the day. And it's him saying we're going to have a rock and roll party. And it's just all like this mixture of the tunes that you hear from like Alive and stuff from here. It was just like a little bonus thing that they threw on there. So I'm sure, trying to remember, was it always included on the CDs? I forget. Because I had forgotten about it until I heard it on CD. Because I hadn't listened to my vinyl in so long. But yeah, it's just a strange little mix thing that goes towards the end. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you even remember that. Why does my phone keep going off? Hold on, folks. It's annoying me. I have to just do this. Because otherwise it's going to keep going, making too much noise. So, and that is all the tracks on here. There's only 10 tracks. You remember back in the day of vinyl, you always had half hour, 35 minutes to an album. Until CDs started coming out and everything just got way too extended. And I'm quite honestly, sometimes some songs they should have cut because they were too busy trying to fill it out. So albums were turning into almost an hour. But back then it was great, and they had a quick 30-minute punch in the face. A couple songs on one side, a couple songs on the other side, and you had a ball. And it was great because Kiss was so much fun back then because they used to do on certain years 2 albums a year. You figure '76 they did this. And then later on, was it in September, I believe? September, October, they did Rock and Roll Over. So, I mean, they used to put so much stuff back out in the day. It was so much fun. Let's just get this out of here. I'm going to go, oh, nobody sees me that close. There we go. That's a little bit better. So those are the tracks. If you go track by track, let me know some of what your favorites are track by track. For me, my favorites on this is definitely King of the Nighttime World, Detroit Rock City, and probably Shout Out Loud. Those are probably my 3 favorites on here. And they all blend well together. I mean, mix is great. Ezrin did a lot of great stuff with this. I mean, I know a lot of people were kind of turned off because, while I do like the polished version of Kiss, I do love the raw version of Kiss from the first couple albums. I mean, they were down and dirty. Like me, Dressed to Kill was nice because it was more them doing everything, and it was just more stripped down, which I do like. But this was good. There was a nice little departure. It was a nice change of pace, and hey, look what it gave us 50 years later. It's to this day, it's a lot of people's favorite album. Several people that are friends of mine are big Kiss fans. This is their favorite album. My favorite album is probably still Love Gun. That's the first album I bought as a kid. I remember go get it, and when it came out in '77, I was right there. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what your favorite album is. What's your favorite songs off of here? Did you guys get Resurrected? So the Resurrected thing is it's pretty cool novelty, but it's not something I ever reach for all that often. It's like I think I've listened to it a few times and it's been sitting on the shelf ever since, getting pretty dusty. It was a cool little concept. It was nice to see the original artwork by Ken Kelly. I mean, let's talk about the cover of this album. Ken Kelly, met him several times at Kiss conventions because he used to be there all the time, doing selling prints of this and Love Gun, because he did Love Gun too. And not super nice guy. There was a lot of who else used to go, and the guy that used to do all of the album layouts. What was his name? God, I can't remember his name. I can see him, but he used to do all the layouts of the albums and stuff. So he would also come in, and he would have a lot of different prints and stuff. I mean, Kiss convention. I miss the Kiss conventions. I keep hearing they're supposed to come back. There hasn't been a good one in New York, New Jersey, in gotta be 10 years. I used to go to the Kiss conventions way back in the late '80s when they first started. Actually, Chiller Theater first is where they started doing a lot of That's where I used to get a lot of my Kiss bootleg concerts and stuff. And then they started doing the official Kiss conventions, which I miss. A few folks out there, let me know in the comments if you ever went to the original ones in New York, New Jersey. They start out in the Meadowlands in Harmon Meadow. Then they went from there to what the hell is that college? The Rothman Center in Fairleigh Dickinson. And then from there they went to some other place on Route 3 in New Jersey. And I can't remember what it was, but they missed those Kiss conventions. They keep talking about having them come back. I guess it's a big undertaking. So I'd love to see them, because you see a lot of the people, especially now, because a lot of people getting older and longer in the tooth, where some of these people are not going to be around. I mean, look what happened last year. Out of nowhere, we lost Ace Frehley. So let's get these conventions back and start getting some more of these people that are involved in history before, God forbid, something happens and they're not around anymore, because I never imagined a world, without one of the original four. And it was that just crushed me, losing Ace Frehley. Fortunately, I got to see him many times. Solo met him, so that was nice. And it's just a shame. Just a shame. I wanted to go to that Vegas thing too, but I didn't make it to that Vegas thing that where they had the landlocked thing, because they didn't do the cruise, so they did that. That would have been pretty cool from what I saw. It was a lot of fun. So maybe if they do something next year, maybe do something like that. And the Kennedy Center Honors was what really killed me too, because watching that and not seeing Ace there, because he was so excited about that. But hey, tomorrow's never guaranteed. Tomorrow may not wake up. Well, which is fine, because I don't want to go to work tomorrow. I have no problem with it. I don't want to go to work. But I used to have some cool Destroyer collectibles. I had the Destroyer mirror, tons of stuff from 76. Because 76 is really when things the merchandising started to come into play. You had some great images. I meant to bring up some of the posters, especially the iconic poster of them at the top of the Empire State Building. That's one of my favorite posters from this era. And the best posters were just about to come too, because you figure we had those solo posters were going to be coming out soon. Not necessarily the solo albums, the posters where they're stage shots, where you can actually see them. If you watch what the hell is it, The Land of Hype and Glory, they were actually doing that photo shoot where they had was it guy Edwin Newman? Is that the guy that did interview them on that? Really weird dude. I remember him. A lot of news programs back in the 70s. And that was it, because I'm trying to think. Oh, this was the year of the Poland Halloween special, where you got to see Kiss. And they did what? They did King of the Nighttime World, they did Detroit Rock City, and they did Beth, lip syncing all of them. And I always found it funny watching Peter Criss play the piano, because as far as I know, he doesn't play the piano. And he's pretending to play the piano to Beth. So yeah, if you have never seen the Poland Halloween special, every year on this channel I do a watch along, because it's on YouTube. Somebody uploaded the entire show. You can watch the entire show, and we should do a watch along around Halloween time. But if you've never seen the Poland Halloween special, go check it out. It's a lot of fun, and there's some really good concerts from this era that you can get too. One of the best ones is, if you ever seen Kiss at Anaheim Stadium. If you ever want to go find a good live concert, that's one of my favorites. And you can find it, and there's little by little more bits and pieces have come out of it over the year too, like where there's different people's versions of it. So I would go check that out. That's a good one to see. And yeah, we went track by track. That's my favorites. You let me know in the comments below. Hit me up. Let me know what your favorites are. You celebrating today? As soon as I get off here, I think my wife just got home, so I'm going to get off. This is just going to be a quick stream, because I'm going to go upstairs and go eat something and put some Destroyer on and listen to it, because I got to listen to it all the way through today, because it's a big milestone for us Kiss fans, right? So yeah, hit me in the comments below. Let me know your favorite Destroyer tunes. Let me know how you got into Kiss, when you first heard Destroyer. I first heard it. Did I hear it? I heard it in 76. Yeah, because I remember my brother when he got it. I didn't get my own version until like a year or two later. I know, which sounds crazy, right? Because two brothers, you think would just share albums. If you have a brother, you know how it is, especially older brother. They don't want you touching your shit. So I got all my own albums. So I played my albums. He played his hands off. Yeah, Ace Frehley. I know, right? Ugh. Unbelievable. It still doesn't seem real. Last year was a very surreal year. We lost Ozzy. Never imagined the world without Ozzy Osbourne in it. Then we lost Ace. It was a real strange year, big blow, crushing blow to my childhood, losing these people. And let's face it, it's going to get a little scary in the next couple of years because a lot of these people, look, Peter Criss just turned 80 years old in December. He's going to be 81 this year. What the hell happened here? Everybody's getting older, myself included. So embrace it while everybody's here. Go enjoy it while you can. And like I said, hopefully the KISS conventions do come back. That's what I'm looking forward to. And so that's it, folks. Let me know. Hit me up in the comments below. Make sure you hit the like. And if you haven't subscribed, by all means, there's a lot of KISS content on here. This is the first KISS and Chat I've done in a few months. I have to get back on and start doing maybe like a monthly KISS stream. And anybody's got any ideas, by all means, hit me up. This channel is a bit of a mixed bag. I do a lot of KISS on here because I'm a big KISS fan. I love it. It's mostly horror related stuff and my collection, but I try to mix in all the other things that I love too, especially KISS. TV, movies, you name it, guitar. So if you just popped in and you're wondering what's going on with this is something I got to get back on doing. I was doing it pretty good for like once a month. I was just getting together and just doing a KISS chat, and I got to get back on it. I kind of just got a little bit busy. So you KISS fans, I didn't forget about you guys because I made a lot of good friends through this that are KISS fans that would pop in. So I have to get back on that. So I'll be back with it. So let me know. Comment below. Go listen to Destroyer. Crank it up real loud. Give the props to Ace. Give a nice cheers to him. And see what's next. So probably do this again like I said, I'm going to do some more KISS content between now and then. But I believe it's September. Is the 50th of Rock and Roll Over. Hold on a second. Rock and Roll Over. Let's see when that is. So this way we'll be doing a 50th for that too. It's November. Okay, so November 11th. Mark it on your calendar, folks. November 11th, we'll be doing another stream to celebrate 50 years of Rock and Roll Over. What the hell is going on here? Rock and Roll Over, crazy. I remember that was the Rock and Roll Over. The first 45 I got was Mr. Speed. And who was on the other side? Was it Hard Luck Women? I forget. And that's my favorite song on that album is Mr. Speed. Love it. Love playing it too. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, we'll definitely be doing the 50th anniversary for that. And what else we got this year? That should be it for this. Oh, and the originals too. The originals were released in 76. I got to see what the date is on that. KISS the originals. And we can do something along the lines of that too. KISS the originals. All right. That was released in 76 as well. That was July 21st of 76. So maybe we'll do something for that too, even though it was a repackage of the first 3 albums. But it had a lot of goodies in there. And we can just go through it and see what was in there. And that was like my grail as a kid because I could never get my hands on. I didn't get my hands on one of them until I was in my 20s and I got at a KISS convention because they sold out so quick and my parents just never got it. So yeah, we'll do that too. It'll be fun to go through the originals and just pick that apart as well. So yeah, some good anniversaries this year, folks. So stay tuned. Make sure you hit that like and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and get the notifications because KISS stuff is start going to come back here at least once a month. Do a KISS and Chat or a KISS My Past, which is where I just talk about something in my past. And if you have any ideas about KISS stuff you'd like to see, by all means, hit me up in the comments below. I'll always answer people back. And I will see you guys. I will be back tonight with my partner in crime, Brett. We'll be back at 8 p.m. Eastern for that horror movie podcast. So if you're into horror, stop in tonight and say hello. All right, folks. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go eat my lunch and celebrate Destroyer. And I'm trying to find my stuff here. Okay, folks. See you guys tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you soon.